listening to the Ice Prep Podcast. Here's your hosts, Bryan and Pat.
That's what happens when I press the wrong button when I'm trying to unmute myself. It's been a while.
I was like, what's happening? Is it a remix?
No, I just pressed the wrong button. Hi, how's it going, Pat?
Oh, just recovering from COVID.
I wasn't going to sure if we were going to say anything because, yeah, we had a 3-week off period in there because Pat was sick, I went on vacation, and then Pat in my house was sick. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, it was not fun. It was not enjoyable. I'm still recovering, so I might sound a little stuffed up, and you might hear me cough a little bit. That is just the good old lingering effects of that awful experience. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think have had it yet. Anytime I've been sick, we've checked. So it's just the way it is. You're feeling better? Yeah. My family was in Florida. We went to go to Disney World, which was a ton of fun. It was nice. It was really warm there. And then we came back and all the snow hasn't left since.
It didn't snow at all when you were gone.
No.
And then the day you returned, it dumped snow.
Oh, luckily we returned on the Saturday. And then we're sitting in our living room on Sunday, look outside, and it was like, I am so glad we're home right now. Because that drive from Windsor and that would not have been fun.
No, the drive from Windsor is never fun. We did that coming back from Vegas last year, and that sucks. That is the longest drive in the world. So glad that you made it back before the snow, though.
Yeah, and I think it's still snow squalling out there. I'm not sure. My basement window is over there, and I can kind of see a little bit. But so yeah, we haven't talked hockey for a while. We've got the third member of the podcast chilling back there on your couch tonight, hanging out with us.
The rare occurrence of my dog Lincoln in frame. And for those that are watching, you might notice that the angle that I'm sitting in is a bit different. This is because I'm moving. I'm going to be moving in March, so we're going to see a new backdrop. I haven't decided what it's going to look like, but it's probably not going to be interesting anyway. So even still, that's why you're going to see it at a bizarre angle today.
Well, and it'll be interesting.
Hide all the boxes.
But around the same time, too, I think we're doing work down here to shift how this all looks because my wife will be going back to work soon. So you've seen a picture of what my desk looks like.
Weird little nook with like preserves beside it.
So this way is our pantry stuff.
To your right.
This way is a fireplace in our basement.
And then a desk in the middle, and then a wardrobe behind you.
Yeah.
It's a lovely mosaic of random crap.
And the slow cooker. Welcome to the basement. Yeah.
So did anything happen? I don't think anything happened in hockey.
The craziest trade ever. The Avs made a trade. Oh my God. That was like the biggest news.
Yeah. There was nothing else at all. Not a controversy. No other trades. Things like that. No people backing out from the All-Star game. Every single person is going there and is fully healthy.
The All-Star game. You know what the one thing that's really annoying is? The All-Star game, they changed the format so that every team gets a player. Matty Berniers gets injured, and suddenly Seattle's representative is Vegas Golden Knights Chandler Stevenson.
Yup.
The second hottest team in the West does not have a player at the All-Star game.
The newest team in the league does not. Also, Austin Matthews goes down, and they're just like, it doesn't need to be another Maple Leaf. William Nylander, who should be in there, but isn't.
Hey, at least they gave it to the Florida guy, right? Because the whole thing with the All-Star game, it's more for the home crowd more so than us, if we're being totally honest. It's not built for TV. It's built for the in-arena fun. So, yeah, you want... it's one of those things in baseball. There's always, 4 or 5 from the team that's hosting.
Okay, so this is the thing that I have a huge problem with, and it all kind of ties back to the news that came out just like about 2 days ago, I think it was. And that was that the NHL reported 22% less viewership this year. So that means there are 22% less people watching legitimate versions of the games. And yeah, of course they are, because you've got an all-star game as a start that's built for only the people in that area and not for the fans that want to go, because it's not going to be cheap to go to the all-star game. So they have to watch from the couch, which won't be interesting at all for the actual fans of the players. I don't know what the solution is for the All-Star game, because I don't think there is a solution for the All-Star game, because it's dumb and they should be doing it like after the season ends sort of thing. It should be fun and, hey, look, we were having fun at the end. Cool. But like it shouldn't be ostracizing to the fans. And that's so much of what hockey is right now, is they just are like, but we want to cater to the crowd that is already, their teeth are sunk into everything, so we don't need to market.
Digital ads, which make the game so tough to watch. When they glitch out, or if there's a moving ad during play, it just takes you out of it.
Ads make me nauseous.
The fact that if you're a fan of a team that is not in your direct viewing area, if you live where we are in southwestern Ontario and you're a fan of, say, the Winnipeg Jets or the Ottawa Senators, you cannot watch them no matter what package you pay for. Like, it's so tough to be a hockey fan. And going back to the All-Star thing, if the NHL was smart, they have the same problem that the NBA did, and the NBA turned it into must go to. Players that don't make it to the All-Star game go down there because of the parties that they throw. Because a long time ago, the NBA basically paid a ton of celebrities a ton of money to come hang out at these things. And now it's just like this natural thing everybody goes to. Nothing will ever top baseball's All-Star game because it actually has meaning and value. And unlike the other sports, there's not really contact, so you can play like full on without worry. You know what the best way to enjoy the NHL All-Star game is? Through highlights, scrolling on your phone. I guess if you're in the States, it has to be Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, because goodbye TikTok. One of the biggest media partners that the NHL has. Not like they spend millions on the biggest team in the NHL every single year. Not like they also, I believe, aren't partners with the New York Rangers, and soon you won't even be able to use the app in the States.
Hey, don't worry. Bally Sports will keep them afloat. Oh, wait, they're going bankrupt. It's this consistent calamity of everything falling apart around them, and they have no control over everything or anything. It's insane. Like, I don't understand how this league is still alive.
Because they're making money hand over foot, but they're killing the game more and more every single day. It's this incredible thing. Like, they are falling upwards at such a tremendous rate that the boulder cannot catch up to them.
It's awful. Experiencing the game is terrible. I subscribed to TSN specifically to watch the World Juniors. I canceled my subscription because I couldn't watch any hockey games on that. And then other things, it was just like, oh, okay, there's going to be this sort of like, I think it was an OHL game. The London Knights were playing, and I was like, cool, I can watch that on my TV. That's awesome. So I went to it, and it was like, you need TSN Plus.
Yep.
And I was like, then what am I paying for? I'm already paying $20. Why
Welcome
do I not
to the
get this
multi-tiered system that exists now in the era of Netflix password sharing. Have you seen? Okay, we're getting really aside. Have you seen everything today? So Netflix changed their password sharing thing where you have to basically log in from home.
Every 30 days.
Yeah. Do you wanna know what one of the loudest voices is on this right now? And it is becoming very kind of scary for Netflix. The U.S. military.
Oh yeah, that's a great Ooh.
You'll see more and more of it. I really started to see it pop up tonight, and it was like anybody who's in that type of position, or like people that are working on mining rigs and stuff like that. They're just
Uh,
gone for months on, months off, right?
one that I saw was students. You've got new students that are going to dorm rooms. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they do. And a parent will subscribe for them. And obviously, like, I mean, there's ways to do it, but then it's just like, okay, but you're forcing people to go to a house every 30 days. Like, it just, there's no logic to it, and it ruins so many people's enjoyment of it. It's not like a kid's going to be able to, like,
Do you know what's going to be
really?
the best part? Is somebody out there, it's probably already being written by some kid who's going to make millions at university, is a VPN to your parents' home.
Yeah.
You just like press it, it connects you in for 5 minutes, Netflix, good to go. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
would
all
be
they have to do.
something like that. Somebody will develop it and they'll make it completely open source so that it will happen. I Netflix and the NHL. You'd think that they would be smarter, but they're stupid.
Hey, don't worry. They're going to partner. That's what's going to happen here. That, like, the two dumbest companies in the entire world are going to be like, we're going to partner together, even though they're with ESPN Plus and cause some huge controversy
Yeah,
and all
see,
this garbage.
unfortunately,
Ugh.
that wouldn't happen because ESPN, and you already know because the Senators. I think it was last week. The bidding officially started, and we know
Yeah.
that Gary Bettman wants Ryan Reynolds as one of the owners.
Mm.
And one of the stipulations that he put was, I want to do the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, that in Canada it'd probably be Disney Plus, I imagine. In the States, it'd end up on ESPN or Hulu, whatever it is. But
We
like,
may not even get it, to be honest.
oh, we will. It's yeah, it's one of the yeah. As
Like,
much as I want to be
you
like, we
say, oh,
will.
we will?
It's the NHL, and if I want to watch the
If
Winnipeg
you want to
Jets,
watch
which
the
I
Canadians.
enjoy watching the Winnipeg Jets. Canadians you can watch because you just have to watch it in French.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, true.
like you want to watch the Red Wings, good luck. Um, like
Yeah.
it's the NHL makes it so tough for fans to enjoy their team if they don't live in the city. And even if they do, say you're a Colorado Avalanche fan and you live in Denver, half the time you can't even watch the game
No.
because the team is fighting with the company that has the broadcasting rights because half the time it doesn't air.
Yeah. Like, I saw the other day one of the spokespeople, sorry, no, the commentators, that's the word I was looking for. One of the commentators literally suggested pirating streams because that's the only way you can watch the friggin' team that you like. But then the other side of it is, how who in their right mind is going to be like, I'm going to look for an illegal stream of hockey and see what it's all about?
Nobody's
How
doing
are
that.
people nobody's discovering hockey right now?
Like
Are you kidding?
the dumbest thing in the age of streaming is that I would pay 10, $15 a month to have guaranteed home access feed to just the Devils.
Hmm.
Like, let me rewatch the games whenever I want. Give me all that.
Behind the
I don't
scenes,
need to pay $600 a year for access to every single game, but I don't get access to every single game. Like,
no,
why hasn't the NHL done something like that? If you want
in
fans
Canada.
out of market in the States,
Oh yeah,
they
that's
run
true.
into
Yeah,
just as many issues. It was
yeah,
last season. Can't remember who it was. It might have been Claude Giroux when he was traded to the Florida Panthers. Tried to watch the game in the hotel room and he couldn't.
right. That's true.
And people were sending him links on how to watch it, and he's like, "I can't click these. The NHLPA will come after me." Like, the players can't even like. It's. Can we move
It's
on from this because it is. We are
it's
14 and a half
infuriating.
minutes in, and it's like, welcome back. Bryan and Pat are angry because the NHL is still stupid. That's
It's
the title
yeah.
of the episode.
The NHL continues to be as stupid as they can be. And speaking of stupid, I want to talk about this stupid friggin' trade that happened that was the most sad trombone noise. Like, for those that, probably nobody else. Nobody else watches RuPaul's Drag Race that listens to this, and I'm aware, but I'm still going to throw this reference in there. There was this last season, if they had a thing, if they found the golden chocolate bar, I don't know why, but they would be saved. So every single time that somebody was about to be eliminated, they would open up a chocolate bar and they'd go, "It's chocolate." And then this sad trombone noise would happen. Funniest thing. It kills me. So my wife rewatches it over and over and over, and I howl with laughter every single time.
I haven't watched that season yet.
And that pops into my head every single time I think about Bo Horvat going to the New York Islanders. What a nothing burger. Oh my God. Pointless.
I so wanted him with Detroit. I mean, there's still the possibility of it. The second that Elliot Friedman tweet came out that Detroit was in the running, I think you and I might have been like 10 seconds apart of sending it to each other. We were like, hey, look, it's the thing that we've been talking. The Islanders, I mean, I've seen a lot of people with the take of they have a month, which isn't a lot of games because of the All-Star break, but luckily they are literally the first team that plays after the All-Star break, so they get Bo in the lineup right away. Lou Lamoriello has a month to figure out if this team is going to make the playoffs. If he doesn't, they can retain an extra chunk of the salary, trade Bo Horvat again, and every team in the league would pay an arm and a leg to get access to Bo Horvat for a playoff run for $3 million.
And New York Islanders, they have 12 games. So it's not just...
Oh, that's so everybody being like they don't get that's a fair amount of games. Like if they're... So as it stands right now, they are 2 points out of a playoff spot. We'll call it 5 points out because Pittsburgh has 3 games in hand and 2 points up. So they're 5 points out of a playoff spot. If their next 12 are something like, I don't know, 9-3 or 8-4 at the very best, I wouldn't be surprised if on trade deadline day, one of the teams that's a wild card or in position, first round pick to the Islanders for Bo Horvat.
Well, not even a wild card. Like all you would need is just if Colorado is just like, hey, we've got $2.5 million kicking around. Here's our first round draft pick. Bye. Enjoy.
Suddenly that makes it possible for teams that are completely cash strapped, like Toronto, Tampa, Boston, New York, Edmonton, to go after him. And that it's much.
I don't think it'll happen though.
Who knows?
There's no
Bo Horvat has
really
said
think
that
Lou is going to do that though.
Yes, I do.
I don't think he will. I don't think he has the cojones to do so.
He's literally he's still the GM that won't let his team have facial hair.
Well, and that's why I don't think he'll do it, is because he's so stuck in his ways that he won't rock the boat, in essence. He's going to continue to try and keep Horvat because they are 31st in the league for scoring. 31st. They suck at scoring. But and it's
on the power play.
Even still,
they're just they're ahead
boring, shut down
quite a
hockey.
few teams. But that's their thing, and that's what's going to be. I don't know how well he's going to do there unless the plan is to let him come in and just let him and Brock Nelson just do their thing finally, and then everybody else will kind of pick up the slack. But I mean, Bo Horvat plays defensive hockey anyway, so that's not a surprise. If by a week before the trade deadline he does not have a deal signed and the Islanders are not a point out of the wild card, I bet you he gets traded again. That is the easiest first round pick plus that Lou Lamoriello is ever going to get in his life. Because I mean, if he's not going to sign
a first round pick plus,
it's top 12 protected.
Yeah, I don't know, but like the thing is top 12 protected, meaning that if it ends up, they get the 11th pick. Okay, now all of a sudden
they have the choice to still pass that on if they want to, though.
I know, but then next year they're giving up.
No, if they had they had the 11th pick, I believe they could still be like, no, you take it if they wanted to.
I know, but now they're going to be in the position of, okay, so the top 15 have some pretty damn good talent. Do we pull somebody from there and hope that next year they're not as good? Like they're in a situation, but like next year they're not going to be any better unless they're signing Larkin in UFA, which Larkin to New York Islanders makes sense to me. But
it's an interesting. I think it's interesting to watch because if the Islanders play terrible, I don't think he sticks around. What he makes
will play terrible. They're boring hockey. He is a net front presence that puts pucks in the net that are either tipped in or he's cleaning up trash. That is he's so friggin' good at that. He has a good shot, don't get me wrong, but that is his bread and butter. They have nobody that is going to cater to that. Barzal's a passer.
We'll see what happens. I know it won't happen, but the theory of trading him, I think it's just out there because Vancouver did retain on his salary, which means the Islanders can retain more of that salary, which drops it down.
I don't know. It just, to me, it's frustrating. Not because it's the Islanders. Like, don't get like they're a good team. They have such a good goalie. They're obviously their defensive pairings are very talented, except for like two. But the thing that drives me nuts and makes me like irrationally angry is no one talked about the Islanders. There was all this talk about like Boston and Colorado.
That's the Islanders, though.
But no, it's not that. It's bad reporting.
It's not. That is literally Lou Lamoriello's game. That is what he has done for decades.
Screw him. I don't care if that's what he does. That's boring. That is boring for the league.
That's what he does.
Bettman should be coming in and saying, hey, guys, you can't withhold this information. We need entertainment. This is entertaining.
You think that Bettman doesn't care? He gets the giant paycheck at the end of every year. He's going to let them do whatever they want to do.
I'm not saying. I'm saying this is bad for hockey.
Of course it is.
This trade was terrible for hockey because it came out of left field, which then everyone's like, well, why am I even getting excited about any of these trade rumors? I don't even care anymore about the trade deadline, which is a full-blown lie. But even still right now, I'm mad because why? Why is it just, oh, well, that's what Lou does. Screw him.
Here's the thing, though.
That he needs to be more transparent. He needs to have time on the microphone where he's saying this stuff because it's entertaining and it's important for keeping people interested in the league. I have no interest in what's going to happen with Beauvillier anymore, or in the first place. But like, it's just, I don't know. It's infuriating. It made me so mad to see that that's where he went, just because it just made no sense.
Hey, do you honestly believe that on trade deadline day that Bo Horvat's name won't still be number one on that list? If
I know that.
It's the narrative's still going to be there. There's a chance he wouldn't get moved anyway. We all knew it was bound to happen. Like this, like you can get mad at Lou Lamoriello for being Lou Lamoriello. That's just what he does. That's why Toronto literally bought him, like paid him a truckload of money to leave New Jersey to bring in no leaks. It's just that's literally like what he is known for.
I know, but like
he has canceled trades. He has canceled
the league.
He has canceled trades because it got like rumors came out. He has done that multiple times over the years. Like
which is fine. Honestly, that's fine. But I don't know. It's just because okay, fine. His name's at the top of the list. Here's Bo Horvat, number one. I immediately know nothing's going to happen. It is going to be yet another bait and switch.
That's every year.
I know, but like you look at every other, and I'm so close to swearing, every other league that is out there right now, and you have these blockbuster deals, you have these moves that you're like, what? I don't even know hockey or football, and I know that this is a huge move. What the hell? And then you've got hockey, and it's just like, here's this fourth liner for a third-round pick in the 2027 draft.
That's because Gary Bettman has built the NHL as a way that he punishes the GMs for making mistakes so badly that they're forced to not swing for the fences. We saw it a few years ago, and it was the most fun when Jarmo Kekalainen went out and brought in who all was it that trade deadline?
No,
they already had Panarin.
Duchesne
And there's somebody else that they brought in too, and that was
Duclair.
Duclair, because they ended up they were playing Ottawa, and they literally just changed locker rooms that night.
Yeah.
But swung for the fences because he knew that he was losing Bobrovsky, knew that he was losing Panarin, and I mean, that we don't see that in the NHL because the NHL is designed. It's the same thing. Like, we see bad contracts all the time. In the NHL, that can sink a team. Vancouver. In the NFL, players just get kicked out. There is more protection for the players in the NHL than there is in any other league because of that. Like NBA, bad contract, the player can just walk or get kicked out. Like the NHL, that doesn't happen. You've got that anchor. Like, the New York Islanders are still paying off Rick DiPietro.
Yep.
I know. Like, the NHL is so good at killing itself. They are literally the Principal Skinner meme of, am I the problem? No, it's the children who are wrong. Like,
yeah, I know. And obviously I'm more angry about this than I thought I was.
Apparently.
But it's just, I don't know. It's like when you're really excited about a new video game coming out. You've been hyped about it. A random video game that I'm going to just
dare.
It's just, off the top of my head, let's call it Spore. So
no, that case is at my parents' place.
So this game has been hyped up. You've seen, you've heard nothing but all this news, and it's just like, oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And then you open it up, you install it, or you just put it in your system, and it's just like, that's it. I've been waiting for this for that long, and that's it? Are you kidding me? That's what this trade was. This trade was the hockey equivalent of me convincing you years back to buy the video game Spore, and it turned out to be a trash game.
It wasn't even convince me to buy the video game Spore, Pat. It was the collector's edition of Spore.
Oh, yeah.
That came in the giant fancy... You know what? I'm going to find a picture of this right now. Spore...
It was a great box. They presented it really well. Don't get me wrong. The people who did the production design of the actual unit, kudos to you. You really sold me really well on that. But that's what this trade was. It was just so disappointing because you look at most of the models that are out there and they're saying that, I think one of the higher chances I saw for the New York Islanders to make it into the playoffs was 19%. So, and that was after Horvat was already brought in. So you're taking a gamble on the biggest trade piece that there is on the market. And the gamble is being done with a team that's probably not going to make the playoffs. If I was Horvat, I'd be pissed. You're leaving Vancouver, a bottom feeder, to go into a mid feeder? That sucks. I'd be asking for a trade immediately.
So for those watching right now, on the side of your screen, it is a giant, for those that are younger, video game boxes used to be massive, but this one had this fancy plastic around it. The actual game case itself was this really uniquely designed hard plastic thing, had all the books and stuff in it. And Pat convinced me to buy that. I think we collectively played the game for everybody just made penises.
Oh yeah, no, it was just weird penis monsters. But no, the game was a complete sham.
I also hate the second that you started that, I knew where you were going.
Oh,
because you were like, I'm going to turn the knife on Bryan.
Any chance I can get.
This is back when once upon a time, Pat and I used to literally book E3 off at work.
Yep.
So this would be, 14 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was 13 years ago.
14 years ago. So it must have been, I think it might have been Skype that we used to video chat as we were watching it. It's also how we used to play Rock Band against each other because we both had...
On the Wii.
On the Wii, yeah.
With the weird, it was awful grainy camera, and then we'd lift our laptops up and be like, "This is the score that I got. What did you get?" And then it'd be like, oh, you beat me. Okay, what song are we gonna play now? And it's just good times.
And look at us now. I'm in a basement recording a hockey podcast, and Pat's got his dog sleeping behind him. I think Link's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. Oh, look, he somehow heard you with my headphones on. Oh, okay, you're all right, bud. He's having a dream.
Anyway, hockey.
Hockey.
Let's move. Can we move on from that because we're 30 minutes
absolutely.
in? We obviously, you can tell we haven't talked hockey like this for a while. Literally, like 75% of our messages back and forth on a daily basis are probably hockey related.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull my screen back up for everybody to see here.
Oh yes, this is the thing you were teasing that I wasn't allowed to go and look at stat.
Oh, I can. Yeah, I can do that. Before I was gonna pull up the standings, which is what you can see. Before I pull that up, I'll keep it on the standings. I want to play a very simple game with you, Pat.
Okie doke.
In the last 10 games played, which player or players have the most points in the NHL?
In the NHL, most points. Specifically points.
Points in the last 10. Their last 10, not like, yeah.
I don't think McKinnon is in there.
He is near the top. I'm not going to pull it up on screen yet.
Yeah. Is it Ovi?
Nope.
Oh.
So that's two strikes. That's
okay.
2 strikes.
I feel like that you're doing this because I know I'm going to be mad about it. So I'm going to say Kirill Kaprizov.
3 strikes.
Okay.
In the last 10, there are 2 players with 18 points. One of them plays for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, okay. Well, McDavid.
Zach Hyman.
Oh, good for him.
One of them plays for the New Jersey Devils.
Hughes is on a tear.
Jack Hughes and Zach Hyman have 18 points in their last 10. Kucherov and McDavid have 17. McKinnon and Draisaitl have 16. And then as you go down, it's just names that you would recognize. Big surprise on there is Quinn Hughes is up near the top. And Dougie Hamilton near the top as well. But yeah, I saw that.
Dougie's been on a tear.
He's saw that.
Killing it.
Yeah, back-to-back overtime game-winning goals a little while ago. Oof. The second that I saw Zach Hyman's name at the top of that list, I was like, that is amazing, but also scary that Hyman 18, McDavid 17, Draisaitl 16.
How many of Hyman's points are goals, though?
He is 8 and 10. 4 power play goals.
Okay, that's why.
He same amount of goals as McDavid. And Sebastian Aho leading the way with 10 goals in his last 10.
Now, I'm not trying to slander Zach Hyman here. I think he is a very good hockey player. But when you put somebody that's a very good hockey player with literally a god on skates.
We've seen it not work, though. That's the thing.
But, McDavid's never had a very good hockey player on his wing.
He played with them last year. Zach Hyman's already having a career.
Really well.
Zach Hyman's already passed his career high in points at the halfway mark of the season because McDavid is literally being McDavid.
He was just like, oh, I guess I can score as well. Like, I'm not trying to discredit the work that Zach Hyman is doing, but like, it makes sense that he has so many points if he's playing with someone like McDavid and also Draisaitl. Like, the way the game that he plays, it caters to them. It was a great signing for both Edmonton. It was a brilliant signing for the GM, and it was a great signing for McDavid and Draisaitl. So I don't want to discount the work and the skill that Hyman is doing, but it makes sense that his numbers are that high because of the people he's playing with. Because Matthews could never do that.
Can we play another quick game?
Yeah.
Who has a better last 10? The Vegas Golden Knights or the Ottawa Senators?
Senators.
Yes. The Vegas Golden Knights in the last 10 are the worst team in the NHL.
Yep. They are not looking good. Eichel is not there. He's there, but is he? Stone, unfortunately, he's out indefinitely, and I hope that it's out for the season.
It's looking like at the very least it will be the entire season So
Yeah,
like
and
they make the
that's
playoffs, he
what
could come back, but it could be a like third round type thing, which we saw with the Avs. Was the second or third round? And they have a player, or maybe I'm thinking of Kadri, who got out early and then came back way later because of
yeah.
the broken hand
But
or thumb, whatever it was.
what I just want him to be healthy.
Yeah.
Seeing that it's a spine injury and he has to go surgery for his spine, and seeing out indefinitely, those are scary words to pair together. So I want to see him next season. If he comes back this season, cool. But I want to make sure that next year he is still on his skates and doing well, because spine and injury and surgery, that's one of the scariest ones to see pop up. So hopefully he's okay.
For those watching, StatMuse is the coolest site. Basically, you can see I inserted best NHL teams in the last 10 games, and you get to see all the fancy stats, like Hurricanes killing it, Devils they're back again. And the scary thing is, Boston went on a losing streak there until they beat the Leafs. But Sabres,
a losing streak of 3. Oh no.
Sabres and Avalanche up there again. Yeah, it's a weird time, and you gotta keep scrolling down to find the Leafs, which is just funny to me. Anyway,
it's getting into All-Star break. You're gonna see some teams with good momentum. You're also gonna see teams like the Leafs that are going to. They almost always kind of coast into the All-Star break. People are like, I need this break. I need a vacation. And like especially with Toronto players, they have so much more pressure from the outside media than most other players. So it's mentally taxing. They're tired. I know that's their job, but like, after a day of work for you, you're tired and you want to recharge. And if you open up your phone and saw Bryan is garbage all the time, that's just me texting you. But if that was like all over the internet, that would take a toll. You'd be tired. There'd be no escape. So it doesn't surprise me that they coasted into the All-Star break. And I think that once they come back, they're going to be on a tear again. Like, I think they have 9 games for all of February, and I wouldn't be surprised if they took 7 of those 9.
Well, that's why Matthews is also taking the time off finally.
3 weeks,
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the conference and the wild card. If Boston doesn't keep up their winning pace, Carolina is nipping at their butt. Yeah, they're 9 points. My math is terrible. Not 9 points back. 7 points back. Right? I'm terrible.
I'm not looking.
Yes, 7 points. Oh my goodness. I still have homework to do after this. 7 points back for a while there. It was looking like nobody was going to catch Boston. But as you look at the wild card, like we already know, Tampa, Toronto, they're locked to play against each other. I'm surprised that neither team has made a move for the playoffs yet. I think that will happen soon. But
it has to happen now. Period. End of story. And that's a huge conversation that I think we could get into one day. But
we'll save that for next week, maybe.
I'm just tired of these late trades. Like, the trade deadline is great and it's fun to watch, but like, do it earlier. Get the chemistry before.
Yeah.
Come on.
For those watching, this is what I think is going to be the most interesting thing in the East. You've got Washington, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New York, and Florida. Florida is starting to come back.
Sneezies.
Buffalo is the team to watch if you're in the East right now. They're the one, oddly enough, the more I look at it and talking about the Bo gets traded again, they're the team that I'm looking at going, that's where Bo would go. And that would be every other team in the Atlantic or the Metro would probably be a lot more scared of him on the Sabres than they would be on the Islanders.
The Sabres need a goalie first. I know that they've, Smith is it Smith? Yeah, it's Craig Smith. I know he's playing pretty well. I know
Craig Anderson
is Craig Anderson. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is playing pretty well. Comrie was doing pretty well, but like pretty well won't get them far in the playoffs and get them into the playoffs.
They don't need all that team has to do is make the playoffs. That's all that they need to do. They could win one game and they could go 5 games out in the playoffs. That fan base deserves to see their team in the playoffs so badly. I want to see Tage Thompson in the playoffs so badly.
Next year, he's going to be like, he's putting up points this year. Next year, he is going to be throwing his friggin' body. That is what his summer is going to be, putting on the bulk
and
so
he's
that
already
he can just push people out of the way.
And then obviously the bottom of the pack in the East is nobody's touching Columbus at this rate. They are speed running for Bedard.
Boo.
I do not want to see Bedard end up in the Metro. I would love to see Bedard end up on a team like Detroit. That's probably the only team in the East that I would be acceptable with seeing Bedard go to.
Yeah.
But we'll take a look at the West quickly. Last time we talked, which was a while ago, the Avs were not in a playoff spot. They currently sit in the second wild card right now. They've got the games in hand on Calgary. Calgary has not played well recently. Something's definitely wrong with Huberdeau.
Something's definitely wrong with Sutter.
Yeah, I think he's done after this year, or if they go on a bad losing streak, who knows. Dallas sitting atop. I still can't believe Minnesota is still doing what they're doing, and they don't have access to like $12 million of their cap space.
I mean, Minnesota is doing exactly what they always do. They steal wins from teams. I've said this before. They steal wins from teams. They make it into the playoffs, and then they're removed in the first round. That happens time and time and time again. That is what they are as a team.
Also, my favorite thing is that there's only one team in the NHL that's in a playoff spot with a minus goal differential. And they are one of the top teams in the West. They
must have had like started the season losing 5 games in a row, 9-0.
It's like they win tight, and then they just get blown out when they lose. There's just and somehow they're 4-1 in the shootout apparently. I love seeing Seattle at the top of the Pacific. I really hope Matty Bernier, not pronounced like the food. I've got the food stuck in my head. Beniers, thank you. Oh my god, he's not a food.
We're both here. We are like, here's Brian recovering from like the flu, and here I am with my COVID brain, and we're like, let's remember things.
Matty Beignet, the pastry from the New Orleans area. I hope he's fine, because Seattle, well, they will do fine without him. They are playing everybody scores, and like nobody is blasting off the point sheet, but it's collectively everybody.
It's a team effort. It's what, ironically, the Islanders did when they all just worked together to continue to push forward.
Not boring, because they score a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
There's obviously, you don't want to face Edmonton in the playoffs just because McDavid's. But I think Dallas, Seattle, and Edmonton are probably the 3 scariest teams in the West right now. I'm not counting Colorado out, but until they get Landeskog back, to me, they're a scary team. When Landeskog is there, they are the West favorites. The second he returns, they are the favorite in the West.
I think we're going to see a favorite in the West irking it out a bit, not like far and away.
Not like last year.
No, but like when Manson comes back, I know he's not a huge game changer, but he's a strong defensive partner, and you need that, and they don't have that right now. So when Manson gets back and he is skating, when Byram gets back and he is skating, he was wearing a non-contact jersey the other day. I think he put it back on, but even still, he's testing it out. And when Nichushkin comes back and healthy, I'm hopeful this All-Star break allows for him to get healthy. Those 3, that aggregate, Nichushkin, they are so good when he is in the lineup. And Byram, I feel for the kid, and I just want him to have at least one season. Because at this rate, I don't think he's going to get a full season ever. And that's heartbreaking, but the kid is so good. And I think that maybe even just once those two come back in, I think people are going to be like, crap. They're back.
The Avs aren't going to stay at 3 goals per game average for much longer. That will shoot up. But the West, it's so fun seeing Seattle. I love how wrong everybody was. We were so wrong. The second the trade deadline hit, though, we were like, oh, you could see this coming. We saw this coming. The second the trade deadline happened, it was like, oh, they're not building for year 1. They're building for year 2, 3 next decade, and
2 to 5.
And they definitely are exceeding expectations right now. Flames, I don't think they make the playoffs. Like, you look down this list after Colorado, I don't think Calgary, Nashville, St. Louis are going to make it. Vancouver's not even in the conversation. They're so dead in the water. St. Louis, they're going to start selling off here shortly. Tarasenko's name's finally out there again. He was asked about it. He was asked about it today, and he's like, "That's up to Doug Armstrong, not me."
Hey, and you know what? We got to see Binnington once again have poop in his diapers about something. I don't know. Who
was the goal? Who were they playing?
It was the Avs.
Oh, because it was Georgiev. He squared up. He squared up at center ice.
And his hands, he was doing the handshakes. He's like, let's do this.
And the ref shushed him back because the ref was probably like, Binnington don't get yourself all excited.
I agree with Carlo Koliakovo. Oh, the last name is wonderful and difficult. And him saying that rivalries aren't existing, and that's one of the reasons why the 22% drop in viewership. And I agree. Let them go. Let them build that rivalry. It's there. It's almost at that. Devils Rangers or Detroit,
and that hasn't
Colorado,
existed for years.
What they used to be, and it's there. It's just that close.
The NHL is the one sport where the officials just step back and they're like, okay, beat the crap out of each other and then go sit for a couple minutes. You do that in basketball, you're kicked out for quite a while. You do that in baseball while everybody comes out and they go, hey, and then you see the guys running from the bullpen, and that's everybody just laughs at those. Football, they happen sometimes, but usually it's just flags flying everywhere. You don't see guys just straight up square up outside of hockey unless you're watching a combat sport. And the one thing you were saying, if you're the NHL right now and you're looking at the Metro, you are praying that 2-3 switches around and that the Rangers are the home team, because they need New York to be good and they need New York to be at home. The NHL doesn't like when teams like New Jersey and Carolina are doing well. They like when Toronto, Boston, Pittsburgh, Montreal,
they're moneymakers.
LA. Yeah. But if New York, if the Rangers and the Devils get a playoff series against each other, and it's on a Thursday night, we won't be recording, Pat.
No, we will. And it'll just be a live shot of just Bryan sitting, pulling his whole friggin' beard hair. He'll be fully bald. It'll be great.
I'll keep the hair. Hold on. Yeah, we'll keep the hair till then, right? Because fully bald, that would be a lot of hair gone. I don't think you've seen how long it is lately, have you?
No. This is just, oh, wow. Holy, Bryan. For those that are listening, I'm going to try and think of an equivalent for those that cannot see what is happening. Holy.
Here, let me look like I have pigtails.
I couldn't even tell you an equivalent. Qui-Gon Jinn?
That's what I did the one night at when I was in the Star Wars area, because my hair is literally long enough. I did the Qui-Gon Jinn hairstyle. It was great.
Oh, wow. That is impressive.
Yeah. That's here, I was thinking about this today, strangely enough. It's kind of an aside, but not really. The last time I got my hair cut was about a week before. Sorry, I had it trimmed. We started this podcast.
Wow. Okay.
So I got my hair cut technically twice during the pandemic. Once super short and the other to trim it.
Okay. It's been about a month for me, and I'm like, I'm getting shaggy. So
the more you know.
Yeah.
There's the surprise reveal for the night.
That is something.
Should we go from that to Pat's air horn over there? Or do you have anything else?
let me get my phone. Let me get that. No, I think that's pretty much all. I mean, I could obviously keep rambling about
there's more just looking
but...
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is, like you said, time for... I'm just going to keep pressing it. The games of the week.
I kept looking to see if Link was going to move, but he slept through your air horns there.
He is out cold. So we're not going to talk about the last ones for two reasons. One, it was January. And by January, I mean like the start of January. And it wasn't really that exciting. It was 4-3 and 4-1. So I had the better of the two. So I'll at least say that. So I know which one I have chosen. Brian, I don't know which one you have chosen. So you go first.
All right, let's pull up the view so everybody can see. I'm going to go with Tuesday, February 7th, because obviously if we scroll back, Saturday is the All-Star game, which will not be watching. I'll watch the highlights. And we will hover over this little game right here. So Pat can't see this. You guys can. It's the 29-15-5 Seattle Kraken taking on the 25-22-5 New York Islanders with Pat's favorite player, Bo Horvat, and his second game as an Islander.
Why would you choose the second game?
Second game, right? Yeah, because
why wouldn't you take the Monday one that he plays?
Who cares about the Flyers?
Because it's his first game. You're choosing it because it's his first game.
I'm choosing it because the Bo Horvat versus Kraken has been fun. So how does he do on the Islanders against one of the top teams in the West?
Yeah, I just wish that the game that I think everyone's going to want to watch happened during our games of the week schedule, because I would have chosen the Thursday game of the New York Islanders for taking on the Vancouver Canucks. But unfortunately, that's not in our window of time.
That's literally going to happen during the recording next week.
Yep. So, no, that's a good pick, because those teams are also like not evenly matched, but they could be interesting to watch, and it would be nice to see the harmonies. Where are they?
Plus, it's Bo getting his first treatment in at home. That's also the added to see what happens there. Pat, your game of I guess I have to say who's going to win. Kraken going to kick their butt.
Oh yeah,
Sorokin will get chased. That's my guess.
They might have a back-to-back.
They do, because they play on Monday, so Sorokin probably won't
will
play.
Be in because they won't play Philly. Yeah, he'll be viral up against Philly. Yeah, so mine is Monday, so the first day back into the regular.
Let's see if I've guessed it.
It is at 7:30. It's a bit of a wild card one. Calgary versus New York. And the reason that I am saying this is because it reminds me of what we were saying last year about Edmonton. Is that Edmonton is the same as the New York Rangers. And this time, Calgary is proving they are also very similar, and it is the worst case scenarios version of the New York Rangers. They're not getting the goaltending from the top tier goaltender. They're not getting the points from the top tier players that they brought, except for Kadri's doing pretty well, which I feel like I'm going to eat crow when it comes to which player is going to drop off this year. And I picked Kadri. But I think it's going to be a really interesting game because Calgary is frustrated. The Rangers, they need the points, and they're doing pretty damn well. It's going to be a chippy game, and I can't imagine Calgary's going to be really happy about how it ends up because they are going to lose.
Yeah, so. Calgary they're in must-win situation. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. Rangers are 6-2-2. So, yeah, very interesting one. And then, of course, the game happening at the same time right below that on the schedule. I'll probably be watching that instead of your game of the week there. Sorry, Pat. Devils taking on the Canucks. But,
Hey, I mean, Penguins versus Avalanche are also playing. Is that Tuesday? I think that's Tuesday, and that'll be a really good game. It was a toss-up between the two, but I just think there's something about the Calgary versus New York game that is just, it's going to be an interesting battle, even though they don't have any sort of bad blood for the most part. I just think it's going to be kind of bad bloody.
Calgary's whole thing right now is just hold on tight until Markstrom figures it out if he can this year. If he can, they're gonna fight for a spot. If he can't, because it doesn't matter if Huberdeau is putting up 110 points or not. Like Markstrom has to be playing well. Is it Vladar? Their backup. Like he can do well, but the Flames are Jacob Markstrom, just like the Rangers are Shesterkin. If either of those goalies is not playing great, the team's in trouble.
Yep, because you can't rely on Halak, and you shouldn't have to rely on Vladar.
And you shipped out the other guy, and now the Avs are rocking him. So
yeah, good old Georgiev. He's actually performing really well, and so is Frankie. So that's always kind of nice to see.
Well, I think that's a good place to end this one, Pat. It's been fun. We haven't done this for almost a month.
I know. It's 9:45, and I'm tired. I am now an old person.
I have to go read many chapters of a book for school, which is a weird one. You haven't eaten dinner?
No, I was packing, and then I was like, oh, you want to record? All right, let's do that.
You go pack some carbs in, Pat.
Oh, I saw what you did there.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
I guess.
All right, well, All-Star break, don't care. I hope the highlights are fun online. That's about the only place I'll watch it. And aside from that, anything you want to add before we head out?
Just, enjoy the snow if you have it. It's a really unique thing to have snow. There's a lot of people that don't get it. I know a lot of people kind of poo-poo on it, and I don't blame them. It kind of sucks from time to time. But it's beautiful. Just look at that beauty in it, and don't be too angry at it. Just take a moment to take a deep breath outside when it's dead quiet. It's the most rejuvenating thing when, if you get a chance to go out at, midnight, and you can't hear the traffic near you, and it's just that silence that you don't really get if you live in a city. That's the reason I love the snow. And that's just my piece of advice for you, is just take a minute, 2 minutes, and just stand there and just listen to the nothing. It's refreshing.
Maybe not tonight or tomorrow because of the cold weather alert.
There's that, yeah.
But yes, when it's not like that, definitely go ahead and do that.
Yeah, when you might not, when you won't run into the chance of getting hypothermia and dying, go take a listen to the nothing.
On that note, I think it's time to say goodbye.
I think so too. I need to go to bed.
Say bye, Pat.
Bye, Pat.